And we are live. Do you see that, Steph?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Manifesting Monday, Monday Spotlight. I have with me today Stefphon Jefferson, who goes by Stef. And Stef is an author. He's a world change maker, right? World changer. You like to say world changer. I don't know if you guys could hear or not, but Mila just walked in. You want to come in and say hi to everyone? She's over here drinking her tea. She didn't say hi to Steph earlier, but so we are spotlighting Steph, and Steph is an author. I'm wondering if his book is in your room or Tristan's room, but we'll talk about that shortly. So Steph has done some things as well, and so normally what I do, Steph, is I introduce you, how I know you to everyone, and then I'll have you introduce yourself and tell everybody what we're spotlighting. So Steph and I met at a couple of networking events. One at the Cabinet and Lighting here in Reno. It's local, great place, got all kinds of fantastic lighting if you're into decorating, redecorating. But then also at the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce here in Reno, it's pretty fantastic, and there's a lot. They have a lot to offer, especially networking and really spotlighting businesses. And so, but we also met through Alana Heim, who is one of my best friends, and Alana and Steph are in a networking group together, and she had told me that I want to get to know Steph. This is a person that I definitely want to get to know, and so I said, okay, I mean, I trust her judgment, and I said, yeah, put me in touch, do an introduction. And Steph and I got on a meeting, and right away after we started talking, I knew for sure I wanted to spotlight you and share with everyone what you're doing, and you as an individual, because you are a world changer. I mean, you're doing things that I just love. I think it's fantastic, and I'm passionate about as well. So why don't I have you, Steph, introduce yourself? Give us a little bit of background of who you are.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first off, just thank you for having me on Manifesting Monday, and definitely I appreciate what you're doing and having me on here and just letting me talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, yeah, a little bit about me. I'm originally from Visalia, California, which is right outside of Fresno, and I came to Reno in '09 on a football scholarship. Played at University of Nevada from '09 to 2013, had an incredible last season at Nevada, and it was just amazing. I led the NCAA in rushing, set a few records at Nevada, was in the Heisman race, and it was just an amazing, amazing time. And I decided, I want to leave early. And I said, I'm going to take my talents and I'm going to go to try to do the NFL thing. Went to the NFL, did the whole combine. It was amazing. Loved it. And I didn't get drafted. But I got a call after the draft of the Tennessee Titans wanting to bring me to their camp, their rookie mini camp. So I went to rookie mini camp, and then I ended up getting cut. And after I got cut, I waited a long, long time, very, very long time. And I was kind of going through an identity crisis because I didn't know who. All I played was football growing up. That's all I knew, and that's all I had known. So I just said, what do I do next? And then right at that moment when I was about to give up, the CFL called me and they said, hey, we want to bring you in to the Calgary Stampeders. So I played with the Calgary Stampeders for half a season. And then I ended up getting cut the following year. And I said, you know what, I'm just done. I don't want to go through this again. So I went back to University of Nevada. I got my degree, and then I decided that I want to get my master's. So I had an opportunity to get my master's at St. Francis University in Pennsylvania. So I moved to Pennsylvania for 2 years, got my master's in education, thought I wanted to be a teacher. And I decided, I don't want to be in a classroom for 25 years of my life, but I do love teaching. I do love teaching outside of the school setting. So, I got my master's, came back to Reno in 2015, married my college sweetheart, and we had we have two wonderful kids. I have a daughter that's going to be 9 months, and then I have a son that's 2 years old. And Luxton kind of, when we had our son in June 2018, he just changed my whole life and my whole perspective on getting, taking advantage of life. That's the biggest thing, is taking advantage of life. And I decided, I want to write a book for him. I want to write something so that he can be better than me when he gets to my age. So I decided I want to write this big nonfiction book for him when he gets in high school. And I wrote the whole book. So the nonfiction book is already written. I just have to go back and tweak it. And I don't know when I'll release that book. But after I wrote that whole book, we had heard this sermon on oversight, and oversight has kind of just two meanings to it. And the meaning that kind of stuck out to me was having management over something. So I was like wondering, I was thinking about man, when I go to heaven, God's going to ask me, how did I manage my life? And that really struck me to my core, because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So how do I have management? So I was like, I got to prepare now. I got to make sure my son has management, has oversight over his gift. So, and I just wrote a children's book, and it just kind of happened. And now we're here, so I'm loving it, working at this new job called Gratis Gives, and it's just amazing.
I love it. I thank you for sharing. I mean, you guys, so when Steph and I got on, we did a meeting over Zoom too, and had a one-on-one, and I was listening to his story. I mean, right away, I was intrigued, but then also wanted to support, because what you're doing, and we're going to talk about leadership as well, and we're going to talk about, because Steph, I mean, you've had to go through some things and really learn how to lead yourself. And we talked about leadership and how it's important to lead yourself first, but then also becoming a father, and then, and Luxton changing you. I mean, I know becoming a parent changed me for the better. I mean, I am so much better than I ever would be without having kids. You just step up your game. I mean, so I want to say hi to Denise. She put a thumbs up here. Hi, Denise. Thanks for saying hi. So let's talk. First, let's go back to CFL. What is CFL, for those people who aren't familiar with football? What does CFL stand for?
So it's a Canadian Football League. So they do things a little bit differently. There's a set of different rules that the CFL has that are different from the NFL. Like, one of the rules is they're, instead of 4 downs, they have 3 downs. The field's much wider. There has to be a certain amount of Canadians on the field at all time. And they just do a lot of crazy and weird motions before the play actually starts. So it was fun. I had more fun at the CFL than I did in the NFL, because I felt like I had just had a bitter taste in my mouth with the NFL because of what happened. But at the end of the day, I look back on it. It was really just me not having management over that time when I was in college. Yeah, I had an amazing year and killed. I blew the season out of the water. It was awesome, but there's so many other things, little intricacies that I could have changed to make it even that much better. So, but yeah, CFL was fun, loved it. And I went to a great organization in Calgary. They're like the Patriots of the NFL, but for the CFL. So it was fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Going through hard times, I mean, that's where you really learn leadership skills, because, and you learn them later, you learn them looking back going, okay, I could have done that better. And then you just step up. And I mean, that hindsight is 2020. I'm writing a book myself, and there's so many things that I look back, and in one in particular story, when my mom passed from cancer. And I look back on what we went through, and yeah, there were things that I could have definitely done better, but now I am doing them. I mean, it was a journey, and that's what we do. We live. God put us here to grow and to learn and to get better, and then to pass these things on to other people, especially I think our children.
Yeah.
So do you want to share your book, The Adventures of Learning,
Yeah.
Instant World Changer?
Yeah. Here's the book. So this took about I'd say about a 6-month process of writing a book and actually getting it published from beginning to end. I found an amazing illustrator in Russia. The girl that that did all the pictures and everything is from Russia, and it was just amazing. She just basically put everything the way I wanted it and how and made it come to fruition. And so I really enjoyed her for that. And I got with this publishing company in Las Vegas, and it was just they had a children's book package, and it just like it made sense. So I just said, I'm gonna run with it, and it was awesome. There's a lot of things that becoming an author, it's it's so surreal because there's a lot of things that I start and I have ideas for it, but I don't necessarily finish them. So this was like something very big accomplishment for me because I actually went through with the whole thing, and it was just it was fun, and just all the PR that came after it was just amazing. So yeah, and the book is about leadership. So if you ever get a chance to get this book, it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Nobles. It's about me and my son, or my son and I, where he's walking down the street and he thinks that leadership is about having power. And I tell him that he's a world changer. And I tell him that leadership is not about having power, but leadership is about finding and serving your gift. And once he asked me different questions like, so I can be a pizza man. I was like, 100% you can be a pizza man, if you serve the best quality pizza. And that's kind of how the story goes. It just asked me questions of the different careers and things he could be. And then at the end of the story, there's kind of like a cliffhanger where there's going to be more, which is I plan on getting more, bringing more and more books and series to this book. So yeah, super excited about it. But yeah, it all started from that sermon that I listened to a couple years ago, and having oversight and what oversight really means, and having management over something. And once you figure out like whatever you want to be. So for instance, if you want to be a dentist, if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a plumber, you got to serve that gift. That serve part of serving your gift means to have oversight, be the best plumber, be the best doctor, be the best dentist that you can possibly be. Because if you can serve that gift, then that makes you a leader. So that's kind of how the whole story got started.
I love it. I mean, it's all about service. I mean, being a leader really is about service, and it is about leading yourself first. And I love that you wrote that book for Luxton. I mean, that's the name. That's your son's name, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And and the thing about writing a book, I was just I interviewed my book coach a few weeks ago, and he had told me a while back that 96% of the population wants to, or 80% of the population wants to, 80% of the population wants to write a book, and 4% actually do. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It is a big accomplishment. It's a big deal to write a book, put the words on paper, but it's more than that. Yeah. I mean, I know for me, it's a process as well. I mean, tell me about writing the actual book. I mean, finishing it too, but what about actually getting the words on paper?
When I wrote the children's book, I thought so the actual story itself took me about, I think it was like a couple weekends to write. And, it was, for me, I thought it was going to be easy because it's just basic sentences for children. But there's so many, like, you got to make sure you edit everything perfectly. You have the right editors and everything so that a kid can understand it. You don't want to put too much. You don't want to put too many big words into the sentence because the kids won't get it. So I had to make it very, um, I wouldn't say basic, but I just had to make it very visible for them to be able to relate to and know the vocabulary that they're learning right now. They're able to use that vocabulary. So yeah, it was it wasn't a hard story to write, but I just came up with what's the storyline, who's going to be the characters, different things, because I like I said, I had wrote a nonfiction book already, and it was long. And I remember, every night, and that was a process in itself, because I was up, late nights just writing and writing. But those weren't late nights of just me like, oh, I have to do this. No, it was more so like I'm in a groove right now. I'm in a mode, and I just got to get this off my brain. I remember there was one time I was taking a shower, and I had thought of this thought, and I was like, I got to get out the shower and go write it down because it was so important. So yeah, it was, the whole book process is it is a process in itself, but it's after many times of just rereading and changing things, it all comes together at the end. So
it feels so good to have it done too.
yeah,
Like,
seriously.
yeah, and it is important to be able to have the words, like, a nonfiction is different, but for a kid, they need to be able to understand it at their level.
Yeah.
So you guys, you can go ahead and purchase, like Steph said, The Adventures of Luxton, the World Changer, on Amazon and in at Barnes and Noble. So you can purchase those. I have mine. It's a great book. It really is. And so let's also talk about, you're also a leader in the community. You do, you lead the youth. And so, it is about leadership. Do you want to talk a bit about that part of what you do now,
Yeah,
Steph?
definitely. Like I was, said, before, is that there's a lot of things I wish I could have done better. And I want to be able to give that back to as many kids as possible, many youth, and just let them know, like, hey, I've been there before. Let me show you let me show you a path to help you get to the top, of where you want to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports. It could be anything. And I just want to be able to help you have management over that, so that, the one things that I tell kids all the time is that to seize a moment, to seize an opportunity, you have to prepare for it. You have to prepare all the time for those moments, because you never know when that moment's going to happen. So if you want to be let's go a different career. If you want to be an engineer, like, start acting like an engineer now. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you study, the way you do things, you got to start doing that now, so that when that opportunity comes, it's a cakewalk, because you've been practicing that. You've been having management over that. That's what oversight is having management over that, to be able to be the best engineer you can possibly be. And that's what I tell them. And it's just like, I had that opportunity to do that. And yeah, I was doing some of that stuff, but I wasn't doing, all of it. There were some things that I was missing. And that's why I didn't have the long career that I wanted to in the NFL. I thought I was going to be the superstar in the NFL. I thought I was going to have a long career, but because there are some things that I didn't have management over, it cost me in the end. And everything happens for a reason. It happens for a reason, and I'm not, I don't regret it. But it's just there. I just want to make sure that the next athlete, or the next president of of the United States, or the next entrepreneur, the next business owner, the next CEO, that they know, like, hey, when I get that opportunity, I'm going to shine.
You have to prepare. I mean, you really do. And you say management and oversight. And in my world, we talk about it as self-image. You see yourself as that person.
Yeah.
You hold your head high. You have the confidence. You do the study. You prepare. I mean, you even, dress like it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is, you hold yourself to it. And I think it's not even anything. I know that that's what comes with experience. You
Yeah.
learn these things. And so that's why it's important to have a mentor, to have someone in leadership that you go to so that they can help you with that. So you can move to the top wherever you want to go. You know, you learn from their mistakes, our mistakes, so that you can go exactly where you want to be and be the best. And it is about service. It
Yeah.
really is about service and managing and having oversight, and I would say, you know, leadership over yourself first, 100%,
Yeah.
every time. So um, yeah, you see, you guys, why I was, when Steph and I were talking, like, definitely we're going to spotlight. And then once things start to settle, which they're getting a little bit more back to a new normal around, you know, here in my world as well, but because of COVID. So, you know, Steph and I mean, I'm excited to be in Reno with you, and whatever you need, you just let me know, because I'm
Yeah.
all about leadership and community outreach. So why don't we tell everybody as well, you had talked a little bit about Gratis Gives,
Yeah.
but you're also, you know, a community outreach manager for Gratis Gives, right? Did I?
Yeah.
That's it. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I work for Gratis Gives, and Gratis Gives is a company that has a purpose driven, um, I guess, mission to what they do, and it's just amazing being able to come alongside of what Gratis is doing here in the community. So our CEO, he noticed that there was a gap between local businesses and local nonprofits knowing about each other, you know, and he wanted to bridge that gap and bring more awareness to local businesses and local nonprofits. So he figured out a way to how to do that. So what he did was, whatever, you know, working in the merchant services industry, he figured out a way to be able to, you know, whatever we're able to save a business owner on their payment processing, those unnecessary fees that the business owner might be seeing through their credit card processing, he figured out a way to, whatever we're able to save them, take a small portion of that and give it back to one of the 12 nonprofits we work with here locally. And it's just been amazing feedback. In the last 2 years, we've given over $50,000 to nonprofits, and it's just going to continue to grow because of the what we're doing. And it's real simple. We'll sign these business owners up with a merchant account, and they're able to you know, save each month, and the money goes into an escrow account. And then at the end of the year, we do a big banquet for all these nonprofits and present a big check to them, and just let them know how thankful we are. And the cool thing about it too is, like, this money is not government money, so they can do anything they want with the money, because, and like, if it's extra resources, they can use that money for whatever, because with the government money, you have to, it's all planned out, like, it's going to this, it has to go to this part of the nonprofit. So this is basically great money for them to grow and to change lives in the community. So yeah, it's an amazing organization, and I'm learning so much about the industry and what it has to offer, and helping these nonprofits. I get to go home every day knowing that I can, you know, I'm making a difference in this world.
You are making a difference. You
Thank
know,
you.
the one thing about that money, the regulation. So I support Nevada Youth Empowerment Project here in town. I mentor girls there. I mean, that's, you know, my place that I give my energy and my love and money to, and the regulations that they have to adhere to with government money. It's just, you know, it can be, their hands are tied in certain ways. So I love that Gratis gives them the money, or gives, you know, nonprofits money, but they're able to do with it what they need. You know, because
Yeah.
there are things they need to do that aren't, you know, their hands are tied because
Yep.
they are required to do certain things. So I love that you guys do that. I want to make sure, because we're going to wrap it up here, Steph, but I want to make sure that we touched on everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to tell everyone watching about before we wrap up?
Yeah. You know, just everyone, you know, that is watching, and the people that will see this, you know, that you are a world changer, and know that you guys have a gift. You were born for a purpose, and we have to tap into that, and know that you only get one life at this, and you got to manage it to the best of your ability. So go ahead and have oversight and live to the fullest. And then, yeah, any business owners out there that are looking to reduce their fees, but most importantly, want to give back to the community in some sort of way or fashion, we would love to connect and get you a part of the Gratis family so that we can get you on board and you can see the impact of what you're doing here in the community.
100%. And, even you guys, even in the background here of that Steph has, I mean, Gratis Gives definitely, Maggie said, thank you so much. It's definitely my kind of place. You guys already know, if you're just joining, you can go back to the beginning, but you'll see there, it says, remember why you started. I mean, if you know why you're doing something, that's going to help you get past the hump on those days where it's a little bit harder, or play to win. I mean, it is so important to have fun. There is a lot of stuff going on in the world, in our families, in everyday life, all of the time. And it's important that we are able to have fun and enjoy life as much as possible. Because just like Steph said, you have this one life. It's important to seize the moment and go for it. And really, because you're a change maker, everyone here, we all have a gift. And it really is, it feels so good to give back and to serve.
Yeah, 100%. And so I thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you for, helping me just bring this message out. And, I'm so thankful for this program that you're doing and how you're impacting the community as well. So there needs to be more people like you.
Well, thanks, Steph. It's my pleasure. There's a lot of us out there. You're one of them. So everyone, go ahead. You can get a hold of Steph. I put his information in the comments, in the information here. So he's a leader. He will help also if you need some focus. Figuring out why and what your purpose is. Steph can help you with that. His book is a children's book, but when you get it and you read it, it doesn't just speak to children. It speaks to all of us. So you can get yours on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And then Gratis Gives. I mean, they're giving back to the community, and this is money that nonprofits can use as they see fit. So get a hold of Steph, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining me again, Steph.
Thank you.
All right.